What we're going to do here is prepare our fittings library to be used in Substation Design Suite. Once we do this, we could also have it prepared to be used as a library in Vault. So what we want to do is that have all our fittings, when we customize our SDS menu, that they have a white background. That's what we want to see. So right now in my file, I have a blue background. We're going to do some other things to the files, but first of all, we're going to make sure our background color is the same so that when we come into here, we're seeing a nice white background and not a colored background that it doesn't match. We want them all to be the same. So the first thing we'll do is turn our Inventor background to white. So we'll go into Options, come into Colors, and change it to Presentation, one color, apply and close. So now we have a nice white background. So with that, we can close, and we'll close Inventor. So what we have, I have all my fittings in one file here, right here. So this can be done in Vault. Vault has a tool to do stuff like this, but I'm doing it outside of Vault. So outside of Vault, I would select all my IPTs. So let's select all my IPTs. And I'm going to look at my iProperties. Looking at the iProperties, I want to make sure all my global iProperties are what I want them to be. So let's get rid of that iProperty. I don't want that iProperty in. So it's going to go through all of the iProperties of all that I selected, which are quite a few here, and it will delete that field. In this field I want. So I'm just looking at my global iProperties. If I change a part-specific iProperty, it's going to change it for all of them. So I don't want to change part-specific ones. I just want to change the global ones. And I can come into Custom and look at Custom ones here. If I want to add a global custom iProperty, I'm able to do that here as well. So right now I've changed all the global iProperties I want to change. So I will close that. So in Vault, you can access the task scheduler, and without Vault, you can do that as well. So I'm going to go into my task scheduler. Here's my task scheduler. So in this task scheduler, we can select files. It will open up an Inventor, save it, and close it. So we're going to create a task. I'm going to update design. I'm going to create an update design task. I am going to select the folder. I'm going to add a folder. I'm going to do everything in the folder that I select. So let's go into my folder. It's all going to be my fittings. And select that entire folder. And you can select individual parts as well. I'm going to want to do it immediately. I'm going to have a log file. The log file is going to be stored in this location. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not really caring where it is because I know where it's going to be. Options. I want a total rebuild because I want a white background. I changed the color of my Inventor to white background. The key thing here, I want a compact model history. What that does, it will save the model and compact the design. This will save about 20% in the file size of every file. 20% isn't much on the smaller files, but it really adds up on the larger files. And again, we're only doing IPTs. We're only doing parts. So with that, I'm going to have a total rebuild. I'm going to not skip any files. Go through here, and I'm going to leave it as it is. So total rebuild, and I'm going to compact history. So the two key things is compact history, and I'm going to do a rebuild such that the background will be white. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to run it. So now it's going to go through the entire list of files in that folder. It's going to open up each and individually. close it and do the same for the next. Okay, so it's been running for about 10 minutes. We're about 95% complete. And you can see from that the information here, we can have one failed file. So we've processed 133 or more. We have one failed file. And when we look at our log file, we'll understand what failed in that one file. We can open it up individually and see what we need to do to correct it. So what I should also mention that when you change your versions, maybe from 2016 Inventor to a newer version of Inventor, you'd want to do this one as well. And you have a create task just for that right here. So if we look at our log file, here's our log file path. We can come into that. Okay, we open up the log file. We follow the path and we get into the log file. Here's the log file. We can see some information here. You can see how each file has been updated. We can see how each file has been updated, and we can go through here and look at each individual file, but really we want to know which one failed. So this task has processed 138, of which one failed. This is the file that failed. So now I could go in and open up and see what I need to change with that file to get it to pass. But we have the summary and we can correct that. So now that I am done my task, I can close it. And when I open up the files, all of these files will have a white background. You can see the file has a white background. And when I place them into my assemblies, which I need assembly open to see my menus in SDS, and want to add these to my menus, I can add them in and they'll all have a white background. If you're curious, you can go into your iProperties here. Go into your iProperties here and look at your file size. If you did that before and after, you'll see about a 20% change. It's not much on a 200 kilobyte file, but on other ones it's bigger. And when you have hundreds of these files in an assembly, it would be significant to save 20%. And that's it for now.